we're down to about 5 hens and 1 rooster around here, thanks to the raccoon population. But last night Heath was able to even out the score and took out a pretty big one. He was probably a couple years old and close to 40 pounds and probably full of my chicken, but we're so thankful to get rid of him.
So today is the day that I'm going to start the process of cleaning up this other property. I went ahead and called down to the fire district to make sure that there was no restrictions on burning, and they said it was fine. So, but I've still got to do this in a way that's safe and not going to endanger any of the other trees. And while I'm kind of burning this, I'm going to work on the firewood right around here, and then later in the week, one of my buddies is going to come over with his excavator and help me get the other piles kind of brought over to this point and burned again. And then I also need to get up to the little water tank shed and clean up, finish that up. There's still some detail stuff I need to do up there, but I'm just trying to think about the best way to get this fire going that's not going to endanger any of these other trees or anything around here. And I think we're fine. And it's kind of damp right now, a little bit wet. Humidity's up a little bit, so it's probably a really good day to do this. Because the majority of our land is covered in what are designated as invasive maple trees, and because we have over 80 acres, the only real way to efficiently work through the trees is to have large slash and burn piles like this that eventually need to be burned to get rid of all of the leftover trees and brush. As I use my chainsaw and the excavator to efficiently pick through the trees, I wish that I could utilize every square inch, and I wish that I had more time to pick through the brush piles, because there's probably 10 years of firewood here if I could utilize everything. But unfortunately, I'm not getting any younger, and I don't have time to do this. I think we're out of the woods as far as the trees are concerned. I didn't have to cut down any trees, and I think the hottest part of the fire is going off. I just need to kind of stay close by and watch it. But I'm going to grab my chainsaw and start working my way across to the other side of the property. Since I'm kind of stuck here, I might as well do something. So.
I really do wish that there was a different way that I could take the time to thin all of these trees, but I just flat don't have that much time. It would literally take me the rest of my life to slowly work through the property and do it in a way where every piece of waste was utilized. And it's just not realistic. We have 84 acres with about 80% of our land covered in what are designated as invasive maple trees. Now, I believe the designation simply comes from the fact that they're hard to manage. But when properly managed and thinned, I believe we can have a mixture of trees and pasture. But the only way I'm going to live long enough to work through all of the land that we have is if I do it efficiently. And this is the way that I found to be most efficient. One of the most attractive parts about our land before buying it was the fact that it had never been touched before. But part of the reason the land had been for sale for quite so long was because of how much work it would take to do something useful with this land.
Okay, my plan originally was to enter the new property right here from this kind of corner of our old property, go in up here, and then have a spot over here to park trailers. But it is a bit of an incline, and I already have concerns that it's going to be like our driveway where it's going to be difficult to get up in the middle of the winter time. But I called my buddy Mark up to get a second opinion, and he came down and he suggested right here that rather than coming up the road, that we start the entrance right here, and there's already kind of a low spot in the property, so we're actually going to make the place to put trailers and to have about maybe a 60 by 80 pad right here. We're going to do it right here. I didn't want it this close to the road, but because of how steep the property is, it's basically our only option. So what that now means is our front yard is going to take in a lot of these trees, so the goats, the chickens, whatever we keep in that little lower pasture right there, it just got a lot bigger. So I think it's the right thing to do. I've been thinking about it quite a bit, and it feels like this is the right move. I wish it was further off the road. That's the problem with the hillside property, is as far back off the road as I want it, it becomes so difficult to get to that it's not, it almost defeats the purpose of having it. So if everything goes the way I have it planned, by the end of the week, all of these piles should be cleaned up, and I might be starting on digging into this little hillside to get this spot cut in. So we will see. We'll see how it goes.
While I'm burning the brush, I'm picking through everything that can be turned into firewood, and I'm loading that firewood into my trailer, and I'm pulling the wood trailer with my Ford 4610 tractor. One of the last major repairs that I need to make on this tractor is the radiator for the engine. It has a leak. I ordered a new radiator, and the radiator now needs to be installed. I continue to keep a close eye on the burning pile of brush as I'm working on the radiator, but we're getting down to the ashes, and the hottest part of the day should be behind us. I spent quite a bit of time talking about the trees and the process of burning the trees, but I do this because it's important to me and I want you to know that. You don't have to necessarily agree with how I'm doing things, but understand I'm doing what I believe is in the best interest of the land. And I'm trying to do this in a way where I will see the results in my lifetime. But we are about to have more firewood than we've probably ever had, and I'm going to need the old tractor to move the firewood around. Slowly but surely, I'm getting all the leaks fixed on the old tractor, and every chance I get to spend a little bit of time using it, I'm reminded of how grateful I am to have that particular tractor. I should really never need any more tractor than what this tractor can provide.
All right, I'm gonna watch that burn the rest of the night. I think it'll be fine. It's cooling off as well, so I'm not very concerned about that fire going anywhere. But tomorrow morning I'm gonna get back out here and finishing this lower section to where all that we have left to do is clean up. There's still a little bit of a piece of property over here that I need to work through with my chainsaw, and I'd like to get that done before the ground freezes too much. So.
We've had this headboard and footboard for about 10 years, and we were ready to do a little upgrade and get something that we've both been looking at for a while. Kind of a black metal vintage style bed that we've been wanting. So we finally found one. I got Heath inside for a few minutes, so we're gonna put it together.
I had been trying to find a very particular vintage antique, that kind of wrought iron. It's not wrought iron. It's just they'd make them in brass. They'd make them in steel, but it's tubular. But you can never find them to fit a king bed. And a few months back, I finally found one, and we've just been trying to find the time to get it done. But we're at a place with the master bedroom where we're almost due for a touch-up. I never finished putting the baseboard in here. I still need to do something with the master closet at some point in time. Getting this new bed set up is definitely a step in the right direction, and I think once snow flies, we'll probably do something fun up here at some point. But it took me a long time to find this bed. So first we got to get the old bed out of here.
Apparently back in the olden days, they didn't have king beds. Is that right? Because we've never been able to find a true antique look-alike.
I don't think those kings go much. They're 25, 30 years is maybe all that they've made them. So
yeah. So
anyway,
found a look-alike. We're excited.
Let's get this thing out of here.
Hey, look, how tight.
I don't remember this. I feel like it's...
Cedar and I both were a little bit hesitant to make a video about this, but the bottom line is at some point over winter, we're likely going to repaint, put new baseboards in, and finish the master closet in a way where we will be happy with it long term. Once the master bedroom was close to being finished, we moved our stuff in, and we really haven't done anything to the master bedroom since. We have now lived in our house long enough that you can see we've been here for a minute because there's nicks and dings and scratches, and the dogs have most definitely left their mark on the house as well, but we choose to live life that way. And in spite of the fact that Cedar works as hard as she does to keep the house clean, the inside of the house is probably due for a paint job. And I can tell you this much, it won't be me doing the painting. I think we should put those boards across it.
Using a bunky board with a box frame or any support system with a firm, flat, and thick slats. No matter which support system you choose.
As we speak, I'm continuing to work on the new land. If all goes well, we're going to cut the driveway in from the road to the new property in the coming days. And just because I don't get on social media very often doesn't mean that I don't recognize just how important all of you guys are to us. And again, it means the world that you would take the time to watch our videos. Be safe out there, and we'll see you in a few days.
These two guys have been stuck in my front yard here for probably an hour and a half. Their friends are across the road calling to them. I should probably go help them find their way out. These are some young jakes that are moving around right now. There they go. I got them scared. All right. Good, good. There's their buddies up there.